the early 90s, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are ruling the world, and everyone wants to make profit out of the franchise. Video game-wise, the franchise belongs to Konami, but Rare decided to come up with a new concurrent for the Turtles, the Battletoads. The game was released on many consoles, although the most popular version remains the NES version. One thing you already all know, the game is harder than hell, and often considered the hardest game of all time, even if you use the codes, the warp zones, and a game genie. But don't let the difficulty scare you. It's actually pretty fun. In fact, it's one of the best games on the NES, most notably thanks to its diverse gameplay. It's a brawler, a platformer, and a racing game, all in one. The first level is just plain fighting, with an interesting first-person boss. The second one is going down a cave, but you can skip these two levels by cheating. And the third level, that's where the game ends for most people. Avoiding these obstacles at high speed is just insane. I once somehow made it to a surfing level, and it wasn't any easier. And don't even get me started on the giant snake. Even the 5 lives code isn't that helpful. No save feature, no password, only 3 continues, and don't even think about playing it with a friend. It just makes things harder. But you already know that by now. So yeah, Battletoads. Great game, but just impossible. In fact, the Japanese version of the game, as well as the Genesis version, made things easier. But if you're gonna play the game, you might as well play the game. So I recommend the NES version. My favorite part of the game is the music, composed by David Wise, who also made the music for the Donkey Kong Country series. Most people don't even know about the other Battletoads games. A shame, because they are really good. There was one on Game Boy, simply titled Battletoads, although it's actually a different game, and it's all you would expect from the Battletoads. It's very fun, but very hard. I never made it past the second level. For the record, there was a port of the original game for the Game Boy, but it was released later under a different name, and it was missing a few levels. After that came Battletoads and Double Dragon. It was released on the NES, Game Boy, Mega Drive, and Super Nintendo, but for some reason, these last two versions have different soundtracks, which are not bad either, although I prefer the NES one. With Billy and Jimmy from Double Dragon, you have a total of 5 characters to choose from, but there are some mistakes as far as the Double Dragon path goes, but it doesn't affect the gameplay. Surprisingly, this game is quite easy, even in the 2-player mode. If you die during the motorcycle race, you don't have to go back, making things way easier. Next came up Battle Maniacs for the Super Nintendo. A version was also released on the Master System, although this version wasn't exactly finished. It feels more like a remake of the first game, since it has very similar levels. But there's one thing that bugs me. When you get to finish an enemy, you can't move for a short period of time, making you quite vulnerable to anyone else. Again, there is a code to have more lives, and you will need it, because this game is even harder than the first one, if you can believe that. I once made it to the 3rd level, but that's all. Again, there is no save feature of any kind. Let's finish it up with Battletoads, the arcade game. This one is just a brawler, no racing, no platforming. But still, it's a very good game. It's not perfect though. The levels are too long, and the bosses take too much hit, but it's still very enjoyable. Look at all that blood! Definitely the most violent of the bunch. If you're looking for a good arcade game, check this one out. Unfortunately, it was the last game of the Battletoads series. There also was a cancelled cartoon show and a comic on Nintendo Power. Now, the Battletoads series is pretty much dead. There's a famous prank about a new Battletoads game coming for the Wii, but of course it's completely fake. But gamers still hope that one day there will be a new Battletoads. That was Hedy. Thanks for watching.